Sports fans, welcome to Friday edition of Sports Today on ABS TV. And it happens here live in our studio, ABS TV in Oka. I am Ike Nwokedi. On the show today, Nigeria National League names Matchroom as strategic brand consultant. We'll tell you that the chairman, Anambra State Sports Development Commission, yesterday held a special reception for Team Anambra volleyball side, volleyball female side. We'll also be talking about athletics, basketball, tennis news, and football transfer on the Sports Show, Sports Today on ABS TV. Now, let's begin with our first story. Our first story is about the Anambra State Sports Development Commission. Yes, Anambra State Sports Development Commission are in charge of sports management and administration in the state. And let's tell you that Patrick Estate Onyedum, chairman, Anambra State Sports Development Commission, on Thursday held a special reception for Team Anambra female volleyball side, popularly regarded as Anambra Queens. The reception held at the conference room of the Anambra State Sports Development Commission was to officially receive, welcome, and eulogize the team for their exploits at the just concluded first phase of the Nigeria Volleyball Federation Premier League, organized by the Nigeria Volleyball Federation. Onyedum commended the team for being good ambassadors while at Abuja during the Volleyball League. The chairman commended their display despite limited time they had preparing for the competition. He also doled out the sum of 100,000 naira to the team while promising that the commission will ensure a better preparation and welfare for the ladies as they get set for the second phase of the league, which is expected to hold later in the year, and that's November to be precise. I must commend you all for being worthy ambassadors as you represented the state well in Abuja during the phase one of the National Volleyball League. I know that there were challenges such as limited time for preparation for this league, as well as funding for your welfare, but I can assure you that your participation in the second phase will be better, as we want you to showcase the stuff you're made of on the court and ensure that Anambra comes out victorious. Onyedum stated. I won't fail to also commend your coaches, Osai Obi and Stella Oti, for their dexterity in managing the team before, during, and after the competition. Thank you for keeping the spirit of the team together, Onyedum stated. In his response, Ugochukwu Udoka, Vice Chairman, Anambra State Volleyball Association, thanked the chairman for his support to the team, especially in the aspect of logistics for the contingent. Udoka stated that the team will soon begin preparations for the second phase of the league. He assured the chairman that they are poised and committed to make the state proud come November during the phase 2 with their prayers and support. He also used the opportunity to seek for more support from corporate organizations and sports lovers in the state towards the volleyball project. Others who spoke during the reception, we are the Director of Sports, Faith Okwonna, Director of Sports Technical, Emeko Bidimma, as well as the commission's sports consultant, Oluyomi Sule. In a similar event, Onyedum also welcomed the victorious team, Anocha team, Anambra, of course, chess side, led by Coach Charles Ntefe, who won 4 medals after the just concluded 5-day Southeast Zonal Chess Championship held. It was in Imo State. Onyedum also had words of encouragement for Anambra boxer, talking about Prince Anago, who featured at the recent Olympic trials held at Lagos State. So that's how it went down yesterday at the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, as Patrick Estate Onyedum welcomed the ladies who went to Abuja that featured at the volleyball league out there and gave a good account of themselves. And they were 9 teams were involved in that one. Anambra, of course, featured and had a good outing. And I know Anambra State won about 5 matches in the course of that, out of 8 matches and they played. So it's a good one for them, and they will be looking forward to playing in the phase 2 of the league out there, the volleyball league here in Nigeria. That's the highest level of the elite volleyball league class it is in the country. And of course, the team featured against teams from the NSCDC, teams from the military, the chief of staff team also. We are there in Abuja for that competition. So Anambra State gave a good account of themselves, having the likes of Ifunanya Udabala and a whole lot of them featuring in that one. And of course, Patrick Estate Onyedum, we say kudos to him for his immense support and also what he's doing in terms of transforming sports in Anambra State. That is quite unprecedented, and we say, of course, let him continue to do more for the team. Congratulations to those ladies, and of course, kudos to once again to Patrick Estate Onyedum, the chairman of Anambra State Sports Development Commission. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about the second tier of club football in Nigeria. You know, the second tier is at the Nigeria National League, and the first tier, the Premier League. Action will resume this month, August 26th, to be precise. Well, let's tell you that Nigeria's second tier football league, the Nigeria National League, has appointed a leading sports PR and brand development agency, Matchroom Sports and Media, as its strategic brand consultant. Matchroom will deliver strategic consultancy as the NNL seeks to boost its brand profile amongst key stakeholders across the country. And speaking on the development, Chief Executive Officer of the NNL, Emmanuel Atta, said, since the NNL board was constituted by the Nigeria Football Federation, we have been looking for partners to take the league to the next level. Matchroom Sports and Media was identified as a key player to enhance our brand, and we are satisfied with their approach so far. Reacting, the managing director and CEO of Matchroom, Ojekere Aikoje, said, this is an existing partnership, or this is an exciting partnership rather for us because Matchroom provides a strategic and creative thinking to help our clients unlock the potential of their brands. We will shape the brands proposition, discover opportunities for the brand, and make it meaningful to those that matter most. He stated, our desire is to ensure the NNL inspires Nigerians and make a positive impact on the society. This is the first time that the NNL will appoint a brand consultant since its creation as home over the second tier of football in Nigeria, Ojekere stated. So that's a good way to go for the Nigeria National League, facing some rebranding, strategic and move, trying to reform the league. We can't wait for this league to start also, and that will be in the aftermath of the commencement of the Nigeria Professional Football League, which we hear is set to commence on August 26th. So we'll be watching out for that, and we'll be following up on the proceedings as regards to the second tier of Nigeria Club Football, which is called the Nigeria National League. Away from the Nigeria National League, from football, now let's go to basketball and talk about the Tigress, the Nigeria female basketball team, and their quest in the continent as regards to the Afro basketball competition happening in Africa. Reigning champions, Nigeria's the Tigress dug deep into their arsenal last night before defeating Mozambique in their quarterfinal tie at the ongoing FIBA Women's Afro Basket Championship at the BK Arena in Kigali, Rwanda. Mozambique started the fourth quarter impressively and briefly even led by, but they were unable to keep up with the superior firepower of the Rena Wakama-led the Tigress, who still won that quarter with 3 points difference to win the contest at 59-52 points. Ami Okonkwo continued with her impressive performance in the competition with another double-digit points at Hall 17, while Elizabeth Balogun also ended the game with a double-digit figure on 12. Okonkwo was easily the player of the match with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. She narrowly edged Mozambique's Tamara Seda, who finished with 13 points for the Southern African side. And Senegal defeated Cameroon 80-77 points, while Mali trashed Guinea 96-40 points in the other quarterfinal ties. The competition is expected to end this weekend. The Tigress will face host Rwanda, who defeated Uganda 66-61 points in one of the semi-final matches today. And the second semi-final match, Senegal gets set to tango with Mali, and Senegal beats Cameroon 80-77 points, while Mali obliterated Guinea 96-40 points in the other quarterfinal ties. And the competition like I told you, will end this weekend. I'm back to football on the Sports Show, Sports Today on ABS TV, the Friday edition. Time for us to talk about the Nigeria players abroad on the show. Let's tell you that French-born Nigerian midfielder Leslie Ugochukwu has moved to English Giants at Chelsea from the French club Rennes. We hear the 19-year-old has joined the Blues on a 7-year contract for an undisclosed fee, and the Premier League club has an option on a further year. Ugochukwu, who is eligible to represent Nigeria was a regular last season at Rennes, as equally as Rennes finished fourth in the French Ligue 1 and made the knockout stages of the Europa League. Chelsea's co-sporting director Paul Winstanley welcomed the France Under-19 international to the London-based side. Ugochukwu is the nephew of former Rennes and Nigerian centre-back Onyeka Chiapam, who played for the Super Eagles on 14 occasions. From one Nigerian to another, this time around, let's talk about this Nigerian. You already know his name. Chidera Ejuke is his name. And Chidera Ejuke is in the news this morning for the right reasons, and the Nigerian international has completed his transfer to Belgian Jubilee Pro League champions Royal Antwerp. The 25-year-old forward has joined the Reds on a season loan from Russian giant CSKA in Moscow as the club prepares for the 2023-2024 UEFA Champions League. Ejuke spent last season on loan with a German side Hertha Berlin, featuring in 21 competitive games and providing 3 assists, having struggled with an injury. Antwerp announced the arrival of the Zaria-born star after the club got an exemption from FIFA for the players active in Russia following the deal to happen. He has 3 caps for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, having made his debut against Tunisia, and that was in 2020. The story of that Nigerian-born player, talking about Chidera Ejuke, who has joined the Reds on a season-long loan from Russian giant CSKA Moscow as the club prepares for the 2023-2024 UEFA Champions League. Now, let's take this story from the African scene before we go for a short break. Former Liverpool forward Sadio Mane has left Bayern Munich to join Cristiano Ronaldo as Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr. Is this for money or to improve his professional career? Well, at the age of 31, what do you expect from Mane? A 31-year-old has scored 12 goals in 38 games for FC Bayern Munich in an underwhelming season, despite initially impressing. And the Senegal player was also involved in a physical altercation with Leroy Sané in the Manchester City dressing room after losing the Champions League again, and that was in the past. And reports suggest that the German champions have recouped most of the £35 million they paid Liverpool for Mane a year ago. And Bayern CEO Jan Christian Dressing say that the former Southampton player, who has signed a 4-year deal with Al Nassr, has not had an easy year since moving from Anfield. Al Nassr signed a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Ronaldo in December and have followed that up this summer by adding Croatian midfielder Marcelo Brozovic, Brazil fullback Alex Telles, and Ivory Coast midfielder Seko Fofana. And that's the story about that man, talking about the person of Sadio Mane, former Liverpool forward, who has now signed for Al Nassr out there in the Saudi Pro League, and he will play alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, Seko Fofana, and Brozovic, and all that. So we'll be watching out. I think the spotlight will be on the Saudi Arabian League from now on, as we watch as the season progresses. You're watching Sports Today on ABS TV, the Friday edition. We'll take a short break on the show. When we'll come back, we'll talk about tennis. We have a news on Formula 1 and then some football transfer also on the Sports Show as we get set to the commencement of the mainstream leagues in Western Europe. Details coming up shortly on the flip side of the show. Stick around.
Great news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Oka.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install ViewSat TV decoder or any other free-to-air decoder and tune into channel 0031.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803 388 8526 or 0806 883 9902. ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
More on the drive continues here on the morning drive on ABS TV. This is the sports edition to wind off a Good Morning Anambra on the show. Welcome back to Sports Today on ABS TV, happening here weekdays at 9:15 to 9:55 a.m. Is on this dial. We'll go on a crisscross and circumnavigation around the world of sports and style, telling you what's happening in the world of sports. In the first half, we told you that Patrick Estate Onyedum, the chairman of Anambra State Sports Development Commission, hosted Team Anambra female volleyball side to a special reception yesterday, and he gave them a sum of 100,000 naira for their exploits at they just concluded first phase of the National Volleyball League, and of course he promised to do more and equally inspired them and gave them some word of encouragement as they get set for the second phase of that league, which is expected to happen sometime later in this year, which is in November to be precise. Also on the show, we told you about the second tier of Nigerian club football, the NNL, that the NNL, of course, is now have gone into a partnership deal with Matchroom, a strategic brand consultant. Also on the show, we told you that the Tigress, of course, are progressing well. They had a defending champion at the ongoing Afro-Basket Female Basketball Championship on the globe, and then they will be taking on the host Rwanda. I think that game should be on about this time. We equally told you that Chelsea have confirmed that the signing of a Nigerian-born player, Leslie Ugochukwu, for a 7-year period at the club, and that man is just 19 years of age, and you fancy that Chelsea may want to send him on loan for pastures and you. So that's the story for Leslie Ugochukwu, now officially a player of Chelsea Football Club. We equally told you about Chidera Ejuke. Chidera Ejuke has had stints with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and that man has moved for pastures and you, has gone to Royal Antwerp. Royal Antwerp will play in the Champions League at come the 2023-2024 season. So he decided to move here. And we equally told you in the first half of the show that Sadio Mane, yes, Sadio Mane is in the news. Sadio Mane has departed, has left Bayern Munich, and he has joined that club that Ronaldo plays for, Cristiano Ronaldo. That's talking about Al Nassr. But though the details of the deals was undisclosed, but it is official that that man talking about Sadio Mane will play alongside players like Brozovic, Alex Telles, and Cecily Fofana. He will play with them in this season, so we'll be watching out for that. So those are the stories that we've gave you in the first half of the show, and that's what Sports Today is all about, checking out what's happening in the world of sports in style. And moving on, let's talk about netball. Yes, when you talk about netball, it's similar to basketball, but let's tell you that Wales' hopes of a top 8 placing at the Netball World Cup are over after defeat by Uganda, and that was in Cape Town, South Africa. And the Welsh Feathers must now beat their final Group G opponents, Trinidad and Tobago on Thursday to compete for either on Friday rather to compete for either a 9th or 10th final placing. If Wales lose, they will face 11th and 12th place playoff. Instead, their sole win of the tournament so far came against Sri Lanka, while Uganda have won 3 matches with these their first World Cup win over Wales, with only one world ranking place separating the two nations. It was Uganda who showed why they are 8th in the world by taking a 36 to 27 lead at halftime, and the She Cranes are cheered on by local supporters in South Africa. We are dominant. We are far more dominant in the final third with a goal shooter Mary Chohawk showing excellent accuracy. And that's in the scoring circle. So, and that's how it went in the Netball Championship. Uganda expelling or eliminating Wales. So that's a bad record for them. And congratulations to Uganda. It's a competition happening now in Cape Town out there in South Africa. And let's tell you that 2-time Olympic and World Heptathlon champion Nafi Thiam is the doubter for the World Athletics Championship. We can confirm to you, Thiam, 28 years of age, withdrew from the Belgian National Championships at the weekend because of an Achilles tendon problem. And the reigning champion is yet to confirm her entry for the championships in Budapest, which starts on 19th of August. We hear Thiam, who missed the recent Diamond League meetings in Monaco and London, pulled out after 2 heptathlon events at her national championship. She set a pentathlon world record at the European Indoor Athletics Championships in Istanbul, and that was a match scoring 5,055 points, a total of 6,947 points. Clinched her second heptathlon world title in Eugene last year, ahead of the Netherlands Anuka Veta, and America and Hal A. And that's one. And now, away from that, let's talk about the game of tennis. And in tennis, Andy Murray won his first singles match since Wimbledon by beating American Brandon Nakashima 7-6, 6-4 in the City Open second round. The 36-year-old Briton who lost to Stefanos Tsitsipas in the second round at Wimbledon last month received a first round bye, and that was in Washington. And Murray, 36 years of age, will play Taylor Fritz, who defeated a fellow American Zachary Asvadia 6-3, 6-3 in the last 16 on Thursday. And a British number 1 or British number 2 Dan Evans beat Francis Gregor Barrere 2-6, 6-love, 6-3. But Liam Bradley lost 6-4, 6-2 against the Netherlands Talon Grexpo. Evans 33 will face Russia's Alexander Shevchenko in the last 16. We hear American Krista Eubanks, who reached the quarterfinals on his Wimbledon debut last month, defeated Japan's Sho Shimabukuro 6-3, 6-4 to set up a meeting with Australian Jordan Thompson in their clash. And British number 1 and world number 13 Cameron Norrie suffered a shock defeat by Alexander Kovacevic in the last 16 of the Los Cabos Open in America. And American Kovacic ranked 116th placed below Norrie, won 5-7, 7-6, 6-4 in a match that lasted more than 3 hours. Norrie won his maiden ATP singles title at the Los Cabos Open, and that was in 2021, but has struggled since beating a Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz to win the Rio Open, and that was in February. And Kovacevic will face German Dominika Kuefa in the quarterfinals, expected to happen this Friday, we'll tell you. And now, still talking about tennis from Andy Murray's news. Now, let's talk about this woman, Emma Raducanu. Yes, sir, Emma Raducanu, Britain's Emma Raducanu has returned to the practice court for the first time since undergoing wrist and ankle surgery. And that was in the month of May. We hear the 20-year-old posted a video of herself hitting with a compatriot Kyle Edmond it was at the National Tennis Center in Roehampton, and that was on Wednesday. And former world number 10 Raducanu has been hampered by injuries since her stunning U.S. Open return. A stunning U.S. Open title, rather, and that was in 2021. Raducanu has not gone beyond the second round of any Grand Slam since becoming the first British woman in 44 years to win a major singles title. She had played just 10 matches in 2023 and winning 5, losing 4, and retiring from 1 before having surgery on both her wrist and left ankle. And Raducanu missed the French Open and Wimbledon, and it's unlikely to be fit for the U.S. Open, which begins on the 28th of August. She's also without a coach, having split with Sebastian Sach, and that happened in the month of July. So Emma Raducanu returning now to practice. That's some good news for her, as maybe she prepares for the final Grand Slam of the year, and that should be a U.S. Open. And she's currently world number 10, and injuries has not really helped her cause so far this season, and has played just about 10 matches in the whole of 2023, winning 5, losing 4, and retiring from 1 before having surgery on both wrist and left ankle, and is now she's now recovering and getting set for action. So we'll see how it goes for her. She also splitted with her coach some months back, and of course let's see what her career goes, what will happen in her career in the months to come. But for Emma Raducanu, we wish her all the best. I hope she recovers well. We hope her A game will be back now on, be it clay, be it at the hard court, or be it on grass, as the case may be. When you talk about tennis, the British player Emma Raducanu, of course, just returning after having a surgery for the first time. Surgery, and then she had a rehabilitation, but she is back right now. I hope she doesn't suffer a relapse of the initial injury she had. Those are some of the things that can happen in sports sometimes when an athlete returns very fast, and then you have issues about the athlete going back to injured again because he or she suffered a relapse. I will hope that will not be the fate of Emma Raducanu, as we wish her the very best in her career going forward, not just representing her country, but her career also in the world of sports. And now time for us to check out what's happening in football once again. And Chelsea have agreed a deal to sign Brighton goalkeeper Robert Sanchez for a fee worth £25 million plus some add-ons. We hear the Blues have been looking to add a goalkeeper to their squad following the sale of Edouard Mendy to Al Ahly, and that was in Saudi Arabia. And Sanchez, 25 years of age, will challenge Kepa Arrizabalaga for the #1 spot. And the Spaniard we hear will be familiar to the coaching staff at Chelsea, as a goalkeeping coach Ben Roberts worked with him while at Brighton and Hove Albion. And Sanchez has been with the Seagulls since at the age of 15, having joined their academy from Levant. It was in 2013. And after a loan spells with Forest Green and Rochdale, he made his Brighton debut in November 2020 and became the Seagulls' first choice stopper for the best part of 2 years. He was also called upon by Spain in 2021 and was part of their squad at both the delayed Euro 2020 tournament and the 2022 World Cup, although his only 2 caps have both come in friendlies. And Sanchez lost his place to Jason Steele in the second half of Brighton's 2022-2023 Premier League season, although he did play in the FA Cup semi-final defeat on penalties at 2 by Manchester United, and that was at Wembley. His contract at Brighton and Hove Albion, where Sanchez has made 90 appearances in total, was set to run until June 2025, but instead he has decided to sign for Chelsea for a deal worth £25 million. That's the story of a Brighton goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. It looks like Brighton are losing a lot off, and their players right now have lost a whole lot. You will quite agree with me. We choose some. At some point in time, Chelsea were making a bid for Felipe Caicedo, and in a deal worth £80 million. The £80 million that Chelsea submitted was rebuffed and rejected by the club management. We hear that one of their goalkeepers is also being courted by Arsenal, and could also be making a move to the Emirates Stadium. So lots of departures happening right now at Brighton and Hove Albion. I hope they get the players to fill in the void left by these so-called stars that are living for pastures anew. And Chelsea, another signing this time around, Robert Sanchez. It is, we told you earlier on the show that they signed a Nigerian by name Leslie Ugochukwu, who has signed a 7-year deal at the Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea are not resting. Mauricio Pochettino is the new coach that has come in. He wants to transform the fortunes of a Chelsea Football Club, and let's see how it goes. And let's see what Chelsea will look like in the life playing without playing on the continent, not playing in the Champions League, and not playing in Europa League. That's the story of Chelsea for next season. Now, Mauricio Pochettino has got his job cut out. We'll be watching out for that, and we'll be following up. It's just a matter of August 12th when the league will be starting. We'll get to see the best of football. That's next Saturday, to be precise. The Premier League will officially be back on terrestrial TV. And before we go, let's tell you that tomorrow, remember, the Work for Life program, it is a program of the Anambra State Sports Development Commission, the Anambra State AFA involved, XFIT involved, and the Anambra State government involved. And that's the ANSEC Committee on Sports we here are fully involved in that one. Is expected to start here at Aroma by 7 a.m. And the #1 citizen of the state, Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Soludo, will be there to lead the group that will be going on this 5-kilometer walk, and it is here tomorrow here at Aroma that it will be happening. On that note, that's about the size of the program this morning. Sports Today on ABS TV. We'd like to thank you so much for being with us all the time, all the while from Monday down to Friday. The show takes a break and return with a fresh package, repackaged on Monday. My name is Ike Nwokede. Until then, have a lovely weekend, but remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.